On Sunday, May 11th of 1997, my father attempted to kill the family, so I watched him stab my mom 5 times in the chest. When she passed out, she said she heard a voice that asked her, did she want to leave or stay?
No
and
way.
She told that voice that she wanted to stay with her children, and I'm assuming that's when she miraculously woke up.
Part of that builds like this resilience in you, where when other people I think would break and give up, you're like, you're gonna give up because of that?
I didn't go in the direction of, end up being either me going to jail or dying, because God always kept me on the narrow path. It was always like clues or hints that, hey, Chris, just use your gift. I'll take care of everything else.
Was there a part of you, since you saw your dad in the church, he had a church, he was a preacher, after you went through that, where you were like mad at God?
I never had a reason to turn my back on God, ever. As long as I was dedicated to using my gift, everything just worked out. I figured if I booked shows overseas, the tickets are gonna sell. Maybe not to where I want them to be, but whatever God was orchestrating was gonna be just fine.
He kept getting you to the next
He just kept doing
step.
Yeah.
He always gave you enough for where you needed to go next.
And they were like, oh, just email the manager. So I just started playing in the restaurant because I was tired of hearing that. But I think it was, I'm not emailing. I'm not emailing. I'm gonna play it right now, and then you're gonna tell me, is it worth me getting hired? So I just started playing.
You have all this too.
Yeah.
English, German, Italian, Spanish, French, Dutch. Well, I don't even know what's A and Z.
Yeah, so that I was going everywhere.
Love it.
Yeah, that's how I was putting my tours together. So I was getting my tickets all over the world on different parts of the world for Groupon. That's how I was doing a world tour.
I'm sitting here with Chris Mitchell, and before my man was you've been at the Grammys twice, right?
Yeah, I went twice.
Before you had millions of followers on TikTok, and also were one of the first 200 paid influencers ever on TikTok.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, it was.
And
it was essentially like when they were going into the beta program, coming out of it, they invited several people to the HQ in Culver City to just chat with us and to see where our heads was at as far as moving forward with building our brand on the platform and creating, being creative with our content. And yeah, TikTok has helped a lot, man, with that, with the support of that.
And he's being super humble. Before Chris was touring all around the world, because I'm just showing you guys some of the top of the mountain of the success, because Chris's backstory is before you were like touring the world, doing shows around the world, playing for events like heavyweight champion Clarissa Shields, boxing event.
Yeah.
And I mean, where there was like 15,000 people, but we'll get into that in a minute. Your backstory of the adversity and the stuff that you went through, and I've done over, I don't even remember, it's like 225 shows with 325 with so many different guests that have all overcame crazy adversity. I mean, we just had Clarissa Shields on, and she has overcome crazy adversity as well. Dude, I remember I talked to Anton, and Anton, what's up, my editor and video dude, and I'm like, I talked to Chris, man, and his story is probably like one of the craziest out of all the guests that I've had so far. And it's inspiring too, but man.
Yeah, my life has been a whirlwind, but it's all a part of who I am today. So I'm happy to come on and share it to your followers and my people that are watching, and to the rest of the world, because I'm just a normal guy. I'm just an average guy, just like everyone else, outside of the success and things like that.
We're also going to have a little live performance later too, and
we're set up.
I'm going to give Chris something here, a little
goodie
special
bags.
gift.
Goodie bags. I like goodie bags.
But we were talking on the phone, and you opened up to me. I'm like, I'm always about, are you okay with being comfortable and open of what you've had to overcome, not knowing your full backstory yet. And you're like, well, I mean, I've been through some adversity. Like my dad tried to kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like where it started off. And I was just like,
Yeah.
well, like you want to just kind of start there with people.
Yeah.
Like how old were you and where were you? And
Yeah, that start. The reason I was for the longest didn't want to share that story because I didn't know if it would bring like shame upon my family or it's essentially my father. I didn't want to put him out there like that, but then I realized like stories like this, even though it happens every day, but it may not happen to everyone that's watching or listening right now. But we all have our adversity. So then I knew that the things that were happening in my life, I needed to share them because, like I said, I'm just an average, normal person like everyone else. I go through things too, even to this day, and sharing a story like that could, bless someone and help them out of any situation that they may be facing or just where they are in a point in life and how to avoid the things that I had endured,
How old were you when that actually happened?
10.
You were 10 years old?
10 years old.
And are you comfortable like sharing the actual story?
Yeah, sure, why not? On Sunday, May 11th of 1997, my father attempted to kill the family. So, to make a long story short, to just give you just the meat of this, I watched him stab my mom 5 times in the chest, stab my sister in the stomach, come after me with the knife as I watched, and my mom let out a loud scream, of saying no. So what happened was he stabbed my sister in the stomach, but her adrenaline was going so her adrenaline was like pumping. And she was actually serving the Air Force at the time.
She was serving
in the Air Force.
Oh, the Air Force.
Yeah, yeah. So so she was there, and then she was trying to stop the fighting at first, and then he stabbed her in the stomach, and he went after my mother, knocked her over, and stabbed her 3 times in the chest. And as I was watching, I was standing. You have to enter the driveway, and he was on the curb doing it. And then I was standing at the front of the driveway or at the top of it by the garage. And he started walking towards me with the knife, telling me to come here towards him. And then my mom let out a loud scream saying no. And he went back and stabbed her 2 more times and looked at me and just ran off through the night. So I went
so
to
it was nighttime. I was wondering, were there neighbors or anyone seeing this in the moment, or?
No, it was just us outside. And I went to the end of the driveway where she was. I mean, man, it was a bloodbath, man. I mean, it was she had just blood just pouring out of her, man. And let me tell you how much of a saint my mother was, man. When she rolled over and she looked at me, she laid towards me and started praying.
Wow.
Yeah, and my sister crawled over, and so my mom was in the front of me, laying across, and my sister crawled over to lay with us. And when the ambulance got there, I was basically sitting in the middle of them, and my uncle got there to pick me up, and the ambulance was asking me questions. When's your father's birthday? I'm 10 years old, so I'm in shock, but at the same time, I'm trying to be an adult here, kind of sort of with answering questions. So my mother, she died on that curb. And when
I didn't remember if she yeah. The story's okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I got you. So my uncle picked me up, took me to his home where my cousins and aunts and everyone was hanging out, waiting to get the news. And hospital called, I believe my aunt or my uncle, and said that she miraculously woke up. She just woke up. And she's here today, 78 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you thought she was, I mean, she did die.
She was gone.
So you basically are a 10-year-old kid and you've got her like bloody body in your arms,
Mhm.
and then your sister crawls over, and then your mom starts praying like, God help me, or praying out for you, or like,
Yeah, I mean, praying for forgiveness, for children, for herself. Yeah, like my mom is probably the holiest person I know. I
wow.
like to say it. Like I've never heard
Talk
my
about a testimony.
yeah.
So your sister then, where, how was she in this? Like, did she
Well, she
go unconscious? Did she?
kind of, sort of, but she was in and out of consciousness. But she was, excuse me, she was for the most part still, aware of what was happening. Because when the ambulance got there, they asked me when my father's birthday, because I'm in shock, I didn't know. And when they put her on the, what do you call it, on
The stretcher.
the stretcher, yeah, I remember she told them, oh, his birthday is September 10th. So she answered that question. So I was like, all right, she's alive. And my mother was, she was not here, bro.
Yeah. Where did your sister get stabbed?
In the stomach.
And it was it, how many times was it with her?
Once. He stabbed Ernest because he was trying to get to my mother. So my mom's fingers were cut too, not off, but they were cut because when he was trying to stab her, she was grabbing the knife.
Oh.
So he cut some of her tendons in the hands. So to this day, she can't bend them all the way. She can only do that because of the tendons he cut in the fingers. But
does she remember, like did she have any experience of like an afterlife episode or anything like that?
Yeah, she actually did. I heard
she was actually dead.
Yeah, I actually heard her talk about a story where when she passed out, she said she heard a voice that asked her, did she want to leave or stay?
No
and
way.
she told that voice that she wanted to stay with her children. And I'm assuming that's when she miraculously woke up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a testimony right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're 10.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad takes off.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the aftermath of this? The cops find your dad. He gets arrested.
They find my dad. He did what do you call, 5 years, I believe, in prison. It was like 4 or 5 years or something like that.
How did they lower that sentence as opposed to, because you would think if they were thinking this is like a attempted double homicide or whatever it would be, or triple, including you, that they would have, was there something in like the test, they testify like something to give him or minimize it, or that just seems like.
Well, at 10, I didn't understand the law. I didn't know what was happening.
Right.
I just knew my dad was gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything outside of that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I was just, like I said, I was just in shock of what happened.
I'm sure.
But, as sad as this, crazy or sad as this may sound, I was shocked, but I wasn't too shocked because of events leading up to that. You know what I mean? Crazy things have happened in my house along the way. This was just the pinnacle of like all the crazy things. So when it happened, I'm like, okay, not that I saw something like this coming, but the initial start of this thing that was happening that night was them fighting in the room, which is a regular thing. So, but and
violence was, and your dad had a church too, right?
He was a pastor.
Yeah. So, but then behind the scenes, there's all this crazy in-house violence and stuff going on. It sounds like there was a comment, like I know you told me you'd work with him and stuff a lot on the weekends. Were you seeing that side of him like when you're working with him too, or was it more like?
Sometimes, sometimes you would see it, but a lot of the times, I don't. Like again, I was young at the time.
You're just a kid, yeah.
7, 8, 9 years old. 10 years old was the last time I lived with him. You know what I'm saying? So, going to work with my dad on the weekends was just like being like a, being a helper for your father.
Right.
Your dad say, "Come with me." Yeah, you just go. Go get the paintbrush off the back of the truck.
So you were
wash it.
working on the grind since you were little. I mean, getting
Yeah.
up at 5 a.m. or something on the weekends.
He would get up very early. My dad was the ultimate blue collar, I would say, because you back in the day, you wore Dickie pants. You know, the navy ones or the khaki ones.
Yeah, oh yeah,
He had those.
Remember when Snoop Dogg and stuff? That used to be the thing, man.
Yeah, that used to be the thing.
Doing the sea walk in them.
The sea walk, yeah. That used to be the thing. So, yeah, he was a guy when it came to things like that. And by the way, like, I want to make this clear, like, for everyone that's watching and listening, I'm not taking shots at my father. You know what I mean?
No.
Because I know that we can go through things in life and then we hold grudges or we resent. I don't resent. I've already forgiven him. I talk to him every now and then. I mean, we don't go out and have a beer and nothing like that. But I still talk to him because I've forgiven him. You know what I mean? So life goes on.
That I never took it like that. And that's something I wanted to ask you, because your faith. Well, let me jump forward, then I'm going to come back to your faith. So the first time I met Chris is at Clarissa Shields' fight in Detroit. If anyone doesn't know who she is, check her out. Heavyweight champion, phenomenal, has a movie about her life story. Had her on the show, and they had like 15,000 plus people. That arena pretty much sold out. So they had us go backstage, my wife and I, to, I guess, what they call the locker room, like pre-fight. So in my head, I'm thinking, you know, she's going to be in there. It's going to be just the trainer, maybe some close family members. You know, she'll be kind of quiet, like prepping, getting her. Because I've seen that in I haven't actually been in a professional fight like that in the locker room, but everyone has their own process. But I remember her saying, she's like, "No, on us it's different. We're like dancing, there's music, I get a vibe." But I didn't expect, like, it was like a party in there. And it was a really cool vibe. And then in the corner, I hear this like amazing sax music playing, but I thought they had it like playing through the stereo or something. I look in the corner and Chris is playing live on the sax, and I'm just like, this is such a dope vibe. And like, we got some clips. There wasn't enough space for my video guy and stuff to come in, so I pulled my phone out and got a few. But there was one part where you came out and you were playing, what was it? R. Kelly's
World's Greatest.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Come on, Chris, come on out." And you're like, "You sure?" Yeah. And you come out and you're like playing, and she's just like throwing, and she's singing, and I'm like, me watching that, because like you're in the moment playing, that was like, it gave me like goosebumps. And then they're like praying, and I'm like, this is just not what you normally expect. And then she goes out. Then Rick Ross comes in, and he's like getting ready to escort them out. They walk out to the fight, and then she just crushes it. But from that, I then saw that you guys were connected on Instagram, I think, and I'm like, oh, that's the dude I saw on the thing. And so I hit you up with a DM, and then we talked on the phone. He shared his backstory. I'm like, dude, we got to get you on the show.
And I'm here.
And now he's here. And going back, like I said, before the dude that had been to the Grammys, done all that, you're working with your dad. You're going through this different, a lot of but it's all that you know. Yeah. Like, that's what you've seen.
Yeah.
So then you start getting into like music at some point. I think you said at like a really young age. And was that something that your dad wasn't like, "No, don't ever do that. You can only do what I want to do"? Or did they kind of like see that you had something?
So I'm one of 7 siblings. It's 7 total from my dad, 5 from my mom.
Okay.
My dad, right? But we wouldn't allow it to say stepsister or stepbrother. It was, or half sister, half brother. So 7. So
that's cool. Hey, we raised 5, and
Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
musicians,
and we have some blend. Yeah, that's
including
cool.
my parents. I mean,
Oh, really? I didn't
every
know
one of my
that.
fam cousins, aunts, everyone is are musically inclined. So, um, my musical gift was discovered at a very young age. I want to say around 4 or 5. I heard this story from one of my cousins saying they discovered that I was going to do pretty good in music. We were at a choir rehearsal, my dad's church, and while they were rehearsing, he said that I stood up and went to the person in the choir. I don't remember the story because I was too young, but he said I stood up and went to the person in the choir and pointed out the person that was in the wrong key.
And you're 5?
I was around 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where they did they listen and adjust, or were they like, get out of here, kid?
I mean, no, he didn't tell me the rest of the story, but he said he looked
That's
at my mom and
crazy.
just laughed. So shout out to my cousin Jesse.
What's up, Jesse? Wow.
Yeah.
So but and then we're gonna let everyone know the grind, because people can assume, okay, you're born. Obviously, you had some special gift and talent, but there's like where the talent meets the passion and the hard work is like where the sweet spot is, because people like me in my younger age would falsely assume like you were just born with it, and then now you're just playing around the world. You got millions of people on TikTok. You just got it all handed to you because you went through struggle, but because you're so talented. But you had a grind to get to where you got, and it's actually really fascinating to me how you always have been so like innovative. Maybe is like the right word, or maybe it was like also like a hard work ethic that was installed from what you saw of like I'm just gonna keep figuring out whatever it takes to like push to the next level.
Well, when we were younger, we were evicted several times, and watching my dad get up every morning and just going. He was a carpenter. He was getting contracted to do a lot of jobs, and he would get up early in the morning, man, and just go figure it out throughout the day. And we didn't have the best situation, but we had the best situation. What I mean by that is like, we may not have had, we did not have, like a really nice car and this really nice house, but what we would deem as a really nice house, but we had a house. You know what I mean? We had a transportation, or we were near transportation. So we had the things that we needed, and to see him grind it out, that way each and every day, it was only right that I was going to be built for this too. So when it came time to, start music and, try to, find my way in it, it was really not hard at all to just, go out and figure it out and, just stick it through. So.
And he had a church on top of working.
And he had a church on top of working. So,
Well, I want to get into like what you shared me when you started even playing. I think it was after college, because for a while you didn't. Mm-hmm. But did your dad, or just out of my own curiosity, did he end up going back to his faith and any type of preaching after all that? I imagine like the church probably closed down. Wow.
Not that church. That church was done because his church was closed down so that we could move into it after we were evicted from the house. So we lived in that church for 2 years.
I remember. Was that when he was in prison, or?
No, that was before the huge incident.
Oh, that was before.
That's TikTok.
Oh, I was like, what is that? I thought I had my notifications up. So TikTok. So you guys
that was way before. Like when I say that was the pinnacle, that after that night he ran off, they were done as far as marriage, obviously, right?
Right.
They were done. So we didn't all live together anymore.
Okay.
So that was way before. So he had, when we got evicted, he had shut down the church, and we lived in it for about a year and a half, maybe not 2 years, about a year and a half, and then we found another home, and then we were able to stay there for a while before, the stuff hit the fan. With the next home that we moved into was when that home was the place.
So where were you like sleep? I remember you telling me it was kind of hard because you were moving around so much to have those like connections and memories with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And, you were like, didn't want to you couldn't be like, can you just come to my house to hang out?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, we're living in a church. Were you guys like you just made up like beds and stuff in there? Or?
Just pallets, man. And we just sleep on the floor. Yeah, we just sleep on the floor.
And that's 9 of you, right?
No, at the time, but my siblings were a little older than us.
Oh, okay.
My brother right above me was the one living with me full time, so to speak. So it was just 4 of us at the time. So, yeah, we were just, so my parents are from the countryside. So when we was living in the church and we need to wash clothes, we wash them in the sink, in the bathrooms, and put them on a line outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, my mom and dad, they know about this. You know what I mean? They're from Alabama. So having a line outside and hanging clothes, it's like, all right, back to the basics.
That's why you told me earlier that you're like I'm like the white MacGyver. My girlfriend's always like, she got a problem, I can make something to fix it, which is awesome. But when you're a kid, like you're just living in the moment, and that's the only normal that you really know. Yeah. But at times, I'm sure it was kind of hard too, because you're like seeing other kids be going and hanging out and stuff, and it's just like, I can't do that really.
Yeah, that's why I told you my favorite movie was growing up was Mighty Ducks 2, Part 2. I would say Part 2 because Part 2 was like, that was my thing. So so Part 2 was the thing, and I would see the community of kids that were just hanging out, Sandlot, those movies like that, like kids just hanging out and having a good time. And because I didn't get that regularly, by the time we started living in the church, I longed for it. I wanted it. I was only seeing my friends really when I was at the school, and like I said, they wasn't coming to the church to spend time with us. And shout out to my 2 best friends, Dante and Isaac. Man, I haven't spoken with them in 20 years, but man, they were the 2 kids that actually made it over to the church to spend time with me, man. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Everyone else, they didn't really come, but I longed for it, man. So watching movies like that made me want to, be like them, so to speak,
And those are classic like underdog stories.
The Big
too.
Green. Do you remember The Big Green?
Big Green.
Yeah, that was a soccer movie. The soccer one, yeah.
Man, I'll have to look. I've seen everything. I don't know why I'm not drawn. Because Mighty Ducks 1, Emilio Estevez, and then I remember the goalie that had and like they were all like the underdogs. Like he got in trouble, I think, and like had to go like with the inner city or whatever for like some type of probation. He didn't want to do it, and I don't think they had really played hot. Yeah, and it was like a cool like. But like you said, you see all the kids and they're like hanging out and they have that thing that like you didn't experience growing up too. Yeah, so it makes it special.
I had a majority of the time at school, and before we moved into the church, I had it on the street where we did live before we got evicted. There was a huge community of friends. So when that was just kind of snatched from me, I was like, dang, I don't have that. You know what I mean? That friendship no more. So. But it was all for the best, man. Like I said, like everything I went through in life, I don't regret it. It definitely shaped my journey to get to where I am today. So, yeah.
It's interesting to me when people go through adversity. I was talking to you about this before, how understandably so, some just escape, it's hard, but they escape, and some will get just totally into drugs or into trouble, into prison. And there's something about when you like find some type of purpose that you're driven towards, and you like put everything into that, and then you've been through the adversity, but you're able to like focus into that. It makes you. It sucks, of course, like you don't wish that you had that, but there's also a part of that builds like this resilience in you, where when other people, I think, would break and give up, you're like, you're going to give up because of that? Like, I held my mom in my arms when she was dead, and my dad tried to kill me and stab my sister. Like, this isn't going to break me.
Yeah.
And in a way, it can also become like a superpower.
Yeah, and it did. You know, like I've said in recent interviews, I didn't go in the direction of what could, you know, end up being either me going to jail or dying, because God always kept me on a narrow path. It was always like clues or hints that, hey, Chris, just use your gift. I'll take care of everything else. So like when it came time to do music, when I wasn't getting opportunities from certain venues and certain artists, you know, another opportunity would come like almost immediately. And even if it wasn't to the level of where I wanted to be, it was always something that would just appear, you know what I mean, for me to perform at, or for me to record some music or whatever. So yeah,
Some
we got
type of something to show you that like you're on track.
Always. So that was the hope, or that was, you know, my faith is what, you know, kept those blessings coming my way. So I was always pretty good at, you know, not taking the, you know, the negative road. So
I was gonna ask you, and I remember there was like a gun story. I don't know if you because I hadn't even heard that yet. If you were comfortable sharing that, and then going forward, but like, was there a part of you, since you saw your dad in the church, he had a church, he was a preacher, after you went through that, where you were like mad at God and like, you know,
never.
Really?
No, never.
So none of that ever like even temporarily pushed you away of like, you know, if this is God and he's preaching, my dad's preaching all this and then tries to kill all of us, how, you know, like nothing of you ever had.
Never.
Because it sounds like then you saw the other side of it from your mom. So you still just stayed in your faith and all that.
100%. Yeah, I never had a reason to turn my back on God, ever. Even as a child, I never. I think in life you have choices that you have to make. You have to make a choice. You know what I mean? And I chose the right thing, the only thing that you should choose, and that is to keep my faith and just, you know, and stay on the narrow path towards righteousness. So I'm not perfect. You know what I mean?
Of course not. No one is.
No one is perfect.
If someone says they're perfect, that's a red flag.
Yeah, right? So none of us is perfect, but I mean, I knew that if I just stay on the path of just trying to do the best that I could, that everything else is going to work itself out. So that's what I did.
It's just the realness of it is so powerful of a testimony without even, you know, like sometimes people can over testify and and they can act like they're perfect and judge it. And it's like, I relate so much more to people that have been through some real stuff and are willing to share it. I mean, that's what the Bible's full of.
Yeah.
Is people that had crazy lives, screwed up in huge ways. But like, the thing for me is I don't preach down people's throats. I'm not like, you have to be this or else you're going. But I just know when I've had my rock bottoms and stuff, if I didn't like have God in Jesus and stuff, like I don't know personally how I would have gotten through those moments. And for me, it's like, I just I feel not in a like putting people, like belittling people away, but I feel bad when people don't have that and they just, you know, sometimes don't believe in anything and I just like think when they hit that bottom, what do they go to? Because for me, when I've had those nights, you know, where I was like, I didn't know if I was just going to make it. And I'm like, and there's nothing, I could just like do this prayer and just almost like hand everything to Jesus. And this, I can't explain it, but just this kind of peace that you can't explain kind of washes over you, that it's not like a magical, here's how everything's going to be fixed, but it's just like, I'm here. And it's like this thing you can't describe.
No, it's not. I mean, everyone didn't believe in Jesus, and clearly he was the greatest man walking the earth.
Right.
And see what they did to him. So I mean, you know, you know what I mean? So I share my stories, aka testimony, And I can only share the goodness of what God has done for me and what's in the Bible. I'm not a preacher or nothing like that. Like, I'm not ordained to go out and just, to preach the word or nothing like that. But I can share my testimony. And if hopefully that changed the lives of people that are listening and watching.
Absolutely.
Give them some type of, inspiration or motivation. And I leave it to them. You know what I'm saying?
You're living the sermon. The way I look at it is God pushes us to use our talents in different ways. Mm-hmm. And then by living that, you're able to, like just right now, like share your story. Because people think like, I keep bringing Cliss up because you know her. But I remember I was talking to her. I'm like, you being a heavyweight like boxing champion is part of the plan, I think. But God is always orchestrating. And another thing he has is now you've got these millions of people around the world and you're sharing this story of like this abuse and stuff that you've overcome. Mm-hmm. And God's using you through the talent that you have to like live the sermon. Mm-hmm. In a different way, like mm-hmm. we don't all, that's what's cool. We're all created differently. We're not all meant to do the same thing.
We're not. Even when I met Clarissa, and over the years we became friends, God was already orchestrating to lead up to the day of me performing and where I met you.
True.
Yeah. I mean,
and now we're both sitting here.
So I met Clarissa 4 years ago, and it wasn't until this year where I was actually able to come and do the performance. I was supposed to do it 2 years ago. She had texted me and said, "Hey, bro, I'm thinking about having you bring me out for the fight."
That's so cool.
But I couldn't do it because I was in concert in Scottsdale, Arizona. So, and just randomly texting like, and she was like, pull up to I sent her a screenshot that I'm coming to the fight and that I bought tickets as soon as she announced it. And then she texted me, she was like, "You better bring that saxophone." And I was like, "Okay, cool, I got you." And
did you know what it was going to even be like when you were, I don't think you had ever been to a fight, or like, was she just like, "I just want you to come play as I'm getting ready and stuff"?
Yeah, because sometimes you don't realize.
Rick Ross and stuff was going to be there?
When she announced.
Well, you probably met tons of people anyway.
Well, I mean, when she announced it, then I knew. But, like, from the time when I met her up to this day, or up until the fight, I definitely, we've been following each other for like I said, for 4 years. But in recent years, I mean, she's far more than what she was 4 years ago, right?
Right.
Because her career is always on the up. So I didn't realize how much on the up. Because when you're friends with somebody, you don't realize like where they are, and sometimes until you
and your friends, so you see it differently too, because you're not looking at them as like a fan; it's a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I get there, I'm like, "Oh, all right." It's like, "All right."
Right. I mean, that was a real deal right there.
It was a real deal. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So because like the way our friendship is, it's like, "Yo, pull up." Okay, cool. All right, got you. You know what I mean? Like. Put a saxophone. Record this song, "The World's Greatest" by R. Kelly. Okay, cool. Record it, send it to her. But then when you pull up to come and perform it, you're looking around. You're like, "Oh, okay, this is what we doing." Like, that's 17,000 people out there.
Right? No, it packed.
Yeah.
And it was cool. They had me with the media all act. So I was just like, I remember standing at the ring before the fight. We came and like Rick Ross, his crew was there and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, I was just imagining, you see it, but I was just standing there, the spotlights were on it and I'm looking up around. I'm just like, it's one thing to go and perform or speak. And that's, I haven't done it to 15,000. I did it at state, wasn't that? But then I'm thinking it's another level when you're going in and you're like fighting.
Right.
Like that takes a different type of mindset too, And like, I was just thinking like, man, all these people and you're going in, that's a different, but again, she put a lot of her struggle and adversity, which I was kind of going to my point, into a healthy outlet of hers, which is like professional fighting and stuff, instead of just being out, getting in trouble, violence in the street, it could have gone any such way. And she's open about God. I love how real she is too. I mean, it's cool. when did she see you? I know you guys met on a plane, but did she know you were as good as you are? Because, dude, you're humble, and I could just tell you when I heard you playing and the clips, I love how you have your own stuff, which is phenomenal, but you'll play like anything, dude. I heard you playing like Coldplay, then R&B, then John B from back in the day. I'm like, dude, that is so dope on a sax. Like it's amazing.
Well, when we first met, we didn't know what each other did. It was her younger brother that introduced us when I told you he was on plane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He saw me carrying an instrument, and he was asking me what instrument do I play, and we started talking. And then we were sitting in the same section, like, you know, they were sitting right behind me, and like through my through the seats, Clarissa was like sitting here, and I was sitting right here, and then he introduced and was like, "Hey, this is my sister, and she's a fighter, and she's gonna be the world's greatest fighter." This 4 years ago. She's gonna be the world's greatest fighter, and I was like, "Really?" So then me and Clarissa started talking, and her brother and all of that, and then we exchanged Instagram. So then I was able to see, okay, this you fighting, I play music, and then over the years we just admire what each other does as friends. You know what I mean? Like,
that's cool.
I like what you got going on with your fighting. Oh, Chris, I love the music. Go play this. And so leading up to the world's greatest, so her birthday was I want to say, was it back in May? Don't kill me, Clarissa. I think it's back. I think it's back in May. So I play Happy Birthday. I was like, "Yo, sis, Happy Birthday," and play Happy Birthday and send it to her. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, you know." And then she texted and said, "Record World's Greatest" by Arquette. And I was like, "Yeah, I got you." So I recorded it, and she was like, "You gonna put it on Apple Music?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. We'll just see." So I'd send her the file, and then when I bought the tickets, and then I sent her the screenshot that I'm coming to the fight, that's when she was like, "Well, you better not show up to this fight without bringing your saxophone."
That's great.
And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna bring it, but what am I supposed to do?" I was like, "I'm coming to watch the fight." She was like, "I want you to play while I'm warming up." So yeah, so that's how I got into the room.
She and Clarissa, you have to do that all the time now. I can't imagine you not having
live music
and not having you there. Yeah, like that special bond. That's like a special. Yeah, I mean, that was just such. I don't know. You just can't describe it.
Man, shout out to all her friends and family that was in the room too,
For
because
real.
you know what made that so authentic was the love that she had surrounded her. And I don't want to make this entire interview about Clarissa, but I just want to give her flowers where she deserved it. She deserved the flowers, man, and her entire crew. Everyone that was in that room was just, like you're saying, they were praying, they were loving, they were kind. I mean, yeah, you got media in there, but when you got your family and friends around you, her mom was in there with her aunt. Shout out to them too. I met them too before she got in the room. It was authentic. It wasn't like her being in a room and you just hired some mega artist to come in there and just do a performance.
That's what made it so cool.
That's what made it so cool. You got your friends and family with you, and you're just comfortable. You're just being you. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, you got the cameras on you. Yeah, you got people in the room that are just there to be there. But in her inner circle was her loved ones. So yeah. And
it wasn't that many. They were very selective of the media and stuff that they would even allow.
Yeah.
It's about that vibe, and it speaks volumes. I don't know. That was just so cool. There's clips of it on your stuff too from when you were in there, so everyone should be checking that out. I know we posted something as well, but can we share like the gun story if that's okay? And then I wanted to kind of go forward from like college and you coming out in the recession, and then how you started playing music on the streets and how that led to where.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the gun story is pretty short, man. I mean, it's a simple fact that my parents' relationship was just pretty harsh. You know, they had their good times, they had their bad times. The bad times was pretty bad, but you know, I mean, he shot at her before, but the bullet didn't hit her, just grazed her arm. You know, it was just like I said, it was just another day. You know what I'm saying? Of just craziness that were going in the house. And as crazy as that sounds, you know, coming from me, making it seem like it was just normal, you know, it was just.
It was for you.
It was for me. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's pretty much the gun story. But, you know, it was The true hero in the story obviously is God, but the true hero humanly was my mother because she could have been walked away. You know what I'm saying? But as we all should do, we should wait till God speaks to us when it's time to go. And she waited. She waited. You know what I mean? And when it was her time to leave, that's when she left. And unfortunately, it had to be that night of the pinnacle of their relationship. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, she's probably the holiest person I've ever met.
Strong too.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I was having you is that it just shows, some different things of what you went through for like kind of your normal growing up. So like that thing wasn't just an isolated incident, and you came through sort of all this adversity, but you also had your mom that sounds like truly is an angel.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
what a strong person.
Before I leave town to go do any concert, I go by the house. We do prayer. Before I go on stage, I always call her before I go on stage. It's always a thing I do.
That's cool. So you were like one of the first. Were you one of the first people in your family to go to college?
My sister went for a semester, and then they couldn't finish paying for it, so she joined the Air Force. And then
that's right.
Yeah, she joined the Air Force, and then I went to Sam Houston State University. I made it through all 4 years. I didn't know how to go to college, and some of my family members, didn't know how to get me there, which is didn't go to college. So, but my sister-in-law, shout out to Deborah, she helped me through the process. My best friend, Jacoby Perkins, helped me through the process. One of my other best friends, Ashley Bateau, formerly known as Ashley Clements, but she's married now to Rod. And she filled out my application. She wrote the letter of why they should let me into school. And along with my other friend, Amber Jean Lewis, I got to give them their names, man, because
that's great. I love that you do that. Their full name too, given their respect.
Yeah, I got to give them their respect,
cool.
man, because they definitely contributed to where I am today.
But you didn't go for like music. You went for business. I remember you telling me. So were you still playing a lot then? Like in your head, were you thinking, I'm going to be like a professional musician? Or were you like, I'm going to go for business and do something towards nothing to do with music?
Honestly, I just chose a degree that my friends would chose.
Right.
I mean,
that's I love the honesty of it, because I changed my major. Like I tell people, like, dude, it's okay to figure it out along the way.
Yeah, I sure did.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I
changed my major once when I realized I think I got like a 40. It was in I forgot what class it was. That made me change my major. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna survive. So I'm gonna change my major. But when my oldest brother Charles dropped me off, literally I was like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, getting dropped off, and I was just, all right, here I am. Like, what now?
You told me
that's how I got in college.
That was like when you had your dorm room and stuff. That was like when your first time sleeping like in a truly proper bed, like by yourself and stuff, right?
Yeah. So I had a bed. We had beds in my house. And then when we, before the incident, we had our own rooms, and whatnot. But as far as like being in a place where I felt like I now have purpose, that was the first time, because I was able to step out on my own and figure life out. When I was at home staying with my mother and brother, I mean, being a teenager, you're just, the world is your oyster, you know what I'm saying? So you just go to school and have fun, you know what I mean? But, I didn't, until I, went to school, I was like, all right, I'm pretty much an adult now. I got to really figure this thing out. And to lay down with the responsibility of saying, all right, I got 4 years, so to speak, to figure this out, that was my first time actually taking things seriously. Yeah, So
you go for business, you graduate. I think you did an internship, but you graduate and it's like right when the recession hits, I think like 07 or something.
So I graduated.
Or no, wait, that's not right.
No, well, the recession in 08, and then it was still, 09 was still feeling the effects of it. It followed for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I graduated spring 09, and I was man, I was feeling the recession because when I graduated, along with others, we didn't know what to do. I mean, there was no jobs available pretty much. And a lot of people were thinking about going back to school. I was thinking about going back to school.
Like to grad school or something?
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking that because
I
my
was
GPA
too.
was not going to get me
And grad school costs way more also. And I didn't even,
Yeah.
I hated school. I started my company in '07. I remember that right when '08 hit, the worst time, the recession, and got married, had kids back to back. My office was in a barn. Yeah, it was craziness. So I can going into the job and in business and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's like people just think I have this, I graduate, I'm going to just immediately have this job making like 6 figures and stuff. And it's just not how it works.
That's not how it works, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's okay that that's not how it works, but just be aware of that. Like you got to keep figuring it out.
100%. And that's what happened. So when I graduated, I couldn't find a job for 2 years. I applied 10 resumes a day to send out through, was it Indeed.com?
Yeah, and Indeed is still one of the best things out there because so we use it for my company Dreamshine, the one for people disability. That's where we get most of our applications from.
You probably got mine. So I mean, I was sending them everywhere. So I was sending out like 10 resumes a day to different. No one was hiring me. But that was, like you're saying, God was orchestrating something. So shout out to my friend Shola Iola. He's a saxophone player from Houston, lives in Baltimore now. The time he was in Houston, and he called me and was like, hey, we ain't got no job, so let's just go out, into town center and we practice. Let's just go play in public. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, pick me up. Let's go.
Were you still playing like as like a hobby? Like did you ever really stop playing?
No, I never really stopped playing.
Okay.
When I started playing, I was 12 years old, and I just played all through school and college, But
and pretty much self-taught. Like you didn't take official.
No, I didn't take any. No, none of us did. None of my family members.
I feel like that's the narrative I hear from like the true like great musicians. Is a lot of them. Some maybe did lessons and like this sucks, and they still. But anyway, you put the work in. So you were still playing the whole time.
Yeah, I was playing the whole time.
Your friends like, let's just start. So at that point, you weren't like, let's start playing and see if we can earn some money from it. Like, let's just start jamming out and practicing.
Yeah, Well, we wanted to earn some money from it, but venues weren't hiring us because we didn't have a resume of playing at previous venues. It was just like, hey, we're good. But the venue want to know, can you bring people? You know what I mean?
True, because it's a business.
It's a business. And I understood that, but I was like, well, you got to take a chance on us. You know what I'm saying? At some point, because when you opened your business, you didn't just have people just flooding inside the business. You know what I mean? But if you give us an opportunity, we can over time bring people in. But no one was giving us opportunity. So we went into into town center and we were playing. And I'm going to give you the full Turquoise story now. So
I love it.
Yeah. So we're in the town center. We're playing, practicing, and there's this winery, not winery. There's this like wine bar. I walked into and asked, "Hey, are you hiring, looking for live music?" And they were like, "Oh, just email the manager." So I just started playing in the restaurant because I was tired of hearing that. Like my thing was, I'm not emailing. I'm not emailing. I'm going to play it right now, and then you're going to tell me, is it worth me getting hired? So I just started playing. Right?
I don't even remember you telling me that. That's amazing.
I'm giving you the full story.
No, I love it. I always, you're going to keep going, but I jump in when I hear these things because there's these hidden little like wisdom gems that the different success leaves clues. And that's something right there is like, you didn't wait for permission. You took the risk of, it's like, almost like you can't be afraid of looking foolish. Or the guy could have been like, dude, what are you doing playing Get Out of Here right now? I'm going to call. But it's like, you have to take these kind of like risks when there's something. Things aren't just going to magically come to you.
Not at all.
And you've got to do that type of stuff and be willing to. And that's you know what I mean?
That's what
I know doing. Because you did it.
Yeah, I did. I was taking risks.
Story.
I was taking risks my entire life. So what's another one? You know what I mean? So,
I love it. So you started playing in there.
I started playing it and people liked it, but the person to do the hiring wasn't there. You know, the manager there was saying I need the email. So we leave and we were walking back towards our car and I hear this guy playing his guitar on the sidewalk in front of this restaurant and it sounded really good. I didn't know if it was Spanish music. I didn't know. I just knew this is not R&B. So I was like, so I'll go up to him. I was like, hey, you know, if we play together, we can make more tips. He had a tip jar on the side of him. And at the time, he didn't really know too much English. Sorry, Toga.
Well, no, I think it's a cool story because how you guys connected and you couldn't even really speak the same language.
Yeah.
But you spoke the same language of music.
We spoke the same language. Toga Ganeres, shout out to him, from Istanbul, Turkey. And so he was like, okay. And that was his thing. Okay, that's his favorite word at the time. So he was like, okay. So we start playing. The manager, Yilmaz Dokuyucu, we call him Jim. He came out. He's the owner and manager of the restaurant, and I introduced myself, and he said, "Hey, you two can play here as long as you want. You know, we're a mom and pop restaurant. We just started a few months ago. We don't have any money to pay you, but if you can bring the people, you can stay as long as you want and keep all the tips. It's all yours." That's all we needed to hear. So we started playing 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day. We would start at 4 p.m., go to 2 a.m. Sometimes we'll start at 2 p.m. and go to midnight. I mean, we did it every day.
Did they have like a little like stage or something? Were you just playing out front of it, or
just on the sidewalk? And you just walk by and you just put some money in a tip jar. That's where we played. But
it was in front of their spot.
It was in front of that spot.
That's cool.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Oh, well, you were probably about to say it, but at some point, again, where I always say God is orchestrated, because like you get a degree in business and you could think like, man, that was a waste. I'm not doing anything. I'm playing music. But then something about that business mind made you start thinking at some point to start, before people were really even making email lists or when they were like brand new, you started collecting people's emails, which is really smart.
Yeah, shout out to Harry Seisha. Yes, Harry Seisha. He was a waiter at the restaurant. As you notice, I don't forget your full names of people that contributed to my life.
Yeah, you know what? I'm like
I never
terrible with names, and I need you in my back pocket to be like, what's their name again?
Yeah,
so you could be texting it to me because I always remember faces, people. But it's like my mind goes blank.
People that contributed and people that are very important in my life, I do not forget their names. Man.
I never forget them. I just suck with. But anyway, go ahead. That's amazing.
It was Harry Seisha. But before I mention Harry Seisha, I'll tell you what I was doing. So we were playing out there. People would walk by and request songs. I look at Toga. I say, you know what? With all the songs people requesting, we can probably make more tips if we create a CD. And Toga's just playing his guitar, and he's like, okay. So I called one of my friends, Victor Oyedeji. He played saxophone too, and he had a studio in his garage. And, it wasn't set up like you were going to some major label, but we didn't care. We just needed a place where we could record our music, and Victor had it. So we go to Victor's house. We record this music. We recorded the majority of the songs that people would request when we were playing the sidewalk. And we leave the studio after a couple weeks of recording it, and we write Toga and Chris on the CD. And for those that are watching that don't know what a CD is, it is a compact disc. It was you looking for one?
No, I was like, I got an old school record player. My kids got me that's even before my time, but it was cool because they got me some they remake the records. But I used to have CDs, but it's crazy. People don't know what those are.
You had the visor in your car?
That was the thing right there where you could flip it down and add it. Then you had the book.
Yeah, you had a book.
I still have some of those where it had them all. Yeah, man. Then if it got too hot, sometimes the plastic would melt.
Yeah. Hard times out here before MP3s, y'all.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love how also... because that album is still out. You can I told you we were just listening to. I was on date night with my wife, listening to it on Spotify, and I'm like, I love you guys record. Some people think like I got to wait for perfect conditions before I start.
Yeah.
The same with this. They see the studio, they see the show, and they're like, Mark, I want to do a podcast, but I'm like, I did my first one in my car, and it was raining.
There you go.
And the audio sounded like crap, but
Yeah.
but I started.
Yeah.
And you do what you can with what you have. You know, this is
100%.
10 plus years later. So you did it. You recorded the CD.
Recorded the CD, and we went back to the sidewalk, and we were selling the CDs. Well, Toga was giving his away for free. I was selling mine for $5. I was trying to get off the sidewalk. So so we were giving his CDs away or selling them, and now Harry comes into play. As we were giving the music away, we had to come up with a name for the CD. And during the process of trying to figure out a name of what we're going to actually write on the CD, Saturday afternoon in April of 2011, Harry walks outside and was like, it's going to be a busy day today because Cadillac and other car companies are going to have a car show in the town square, in the square part of it, not too far from us. Like where we are, it's called Town Center, but just literally a few stores down, they call it the square because that's where everyone would hang out with their children and bring their lawn chairs to watch concerts. And he was like, there's going to be concerts tonight. He says, man, with all those people that walk by and watch you on a daily basis, you should be getting their contact information. Man, that was golden.
And you weren't even thinking about that before. Oh, wow.
That's why I say Harry was the game changer. Like he was the game changer. So I go to.
It's so cool how. So you got to start taking action.
Yeah.
But then along the way, it's so cool how it's just like this one thing can change everything. But still, had you not started, because people think, well, I have to know everything again before I start. And it's like, no, you literally figure it out along the way.
True that. Yeah, you do. I went to the office and I got on Microsoft Word and I wrote name, phone number, and email, and I put a bunch of lines under it. And I printed a few sheets of paper, maybe about 20, and I got a small table out of the restaurant, took it outside, put the tip jar there, put a pen with the papers, and just started encouraging everyone to sign up. I started collecting over 400 emails and phone numbers a day.
A day?
Per day.
And this is back, like to everyone listening and watching, when back in that time, that's like when you pretty much opened every email, because it wasn't like we were getting spammed with thousands and thousands of them like we do now.
Yeah.
That was like, and to make a list and stuff was like a really new thing.
Yep,
and to be generating that, like your open rate was probably like close to like 100%.
It was a lot because this is 2011. So when you would send out an email, even if you said buy my tickets, it wasn't getting pushed to your promotions box in your Gmail. It wasn't getting pushed to your spam. So, but the downside of 2011 was, even though I had Wix, they didn't have the capability of the CSV file. So
you had it individually?
500,000 people's information.
Wow.
So after 9.5 months, I collected over 500,000. So
That's so crazy. That's so cool.
Even harder. Remember, they had to write them down. So when I would input, I had to try to decipher some people's, writing because I didn't understand what they wrote, and I would try to, make it make sense when I would type it into the computer.
So when you went to shoot out an email, was it somehow once you had them all entered, you could put them into a group, or did you have to individually still?
You can only send 500 emails a day through Gmail, so I had hundreds of different accounts. Chris Mitchell Jazz 1, Chris Mitchell Jazz 2, Chris Mitchell Jazz 3.
But this I love for people to hear, because it's the behind the scenes grind where they think it's just you playing on the stage and all around the world, and they don't see behind the scenes you're sitting for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on your computer.
100%. That's what I was doing.
And it's like, I told people, I'm like, if they really made a full movie about being an entrepreneur for almost like 20 years of my life and follow me around, it's not going to be on the documentaries where they show like the private jets and they're doing the shows like this and being at like, that's going to be like 3% of it. The rest of it, you'll see me
The last 2
by
minutes
myself,
of the movie.
either in it half the time. Like I have my company in Ohio, I have this here in Florida. Half the time I'm in my Tesla in a parking lot on my phone, typing stuff in, doing admin, sending stuff to my, and I'll look up. I'm like, oh, 3 hours just went by. I'm like, that the documentary would look like that, just silence of.
Yep, that's right.
And it's like, no one sees that part, and they all think like, oh, I only want like the sexy part, and it's cool to have that vision, but just understand like you're gonna have to do that behind the scenes stuff.
I did a lot of it, man, and that's how I did it. So now that I had all this information, I need to put the word out that I got some music. So we came up with a name for the CD, and I happened to look at the name of the restaurant as we were playing. I said, you know what, Toga, we should call it Turquoise. And he's like, okay. So when you listen to Turquoise, everyone, you'll wonder why there's so many different genres of music on that CD. That's because that's the songs that everyone requested. So that's why it's like it's you have Turkish music on it, you have Latin music on it, you have R&B music on it. That's why it's like a mixture of so much.
So you pretty much like documented or started to think like what were the most requested songs that we're getting as we're sitting here, and those came like your top.
And the best reactions that we would get from performing those songs. That's how we came up with it. So and we actually really judged it by how many tips we got. We were like, you know what, this song.
I love how you were thinking about that. But it's great that you were like thinking about that.
Yeah, that's how we did it. And now after after we released the CD, we got to go out and perform it, right? We got to find a place. So I started, writing different venues. Hey, we would like to host a show in there. Me and my buddy Toga. We don't have a full band, right? So no one was like, yeah, come play here. So I called this popular jazz club at the time in Houston called Red Cat Jazz Cafe. And shout out to Sam Pink. He was the owner. And I asked him.
Sam Pink just sounds like such a perfect name for the owner of a jazz club.
He remembered me because even back in high school and college, I would go to the jazz club and just sit in with some of the musicians and play. So when I called him, he was like, yeah, I'll let you rent it. And he told me the price, and it was $800 at the time. And he cut me a deal because he's like, Chris, you've been grinding it out since you were 16. You know what I mean? Now I'm 20. I was 24 at that time, or 25. No, I was 24 at that time when I called him. So 8 years had gone by. So he let me rent it, and he's like, "How you gonna sell tickets?" And I was like, "Man, I got some people on my email list. Hopefully they'll buy tickets. I don't know."
So you have to pay, take a risk,
to
rent it. They're not like, you're coming, we're paying you this immediately.
They didn't do it.
If you sell X amount, you also get this tip. So you're taking another risk is kind of my point.
Right.
So then how does it work? It's like if we sell, you get a certain amount of the commission or whatever?
No, I rented it and I took all ticket sales.
Oh.
Yeah. I paid you.
Oh, he gave you this. Okay.
For the spot. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You keep your F&B, your food and beverage. I don't get a percentage of that. That's yours. But everything that comes through the door is mine. Yeah. So he's like, how you gonna sell tickets? And I said, well, shoot, I'm gonna email the people I got and hopefully they'll buy tickets. So I emailed people, and under 20 minutes the show sold out. It held 160 seats. And so he calls me, he says, there's been a glitch in the Eventbrite. It's like something's going on with the site. People are not able to buy tickets. I said, well, what's happening? He's like, it's showing that it's sold out.
Did you think that was going to happen? Or did you have no idea?
I've never sold tickets to a show before, so I don't know how to work. I was just, I've always been authentic with my audience. So I told everyone in the audience, hey, me and Toga are going to put a band together. We're going to put a show together. You've been watching us play at Turquoise, and this is going to be our first concert. We'd love for you to support. Tickets are $20. Buy the ticket and come show us some love.
That's awesome.
And that's what they did. So they bought tickets to come show us some love. So we ended up adding another show at 9:30, and that one sold out. And then mathematically, I had to remember Well, I got to have 500,000 people's information. I can only sell, just about over 300 tickets tonight, so that shouldn't be that difficult. You know what I mean? So as we were doing the shows around Houston, we wanted to travel a bit. So one day I was at Turquoise earlier that day before we started playing. They were watching a soccer game, the Turkish team, and it went to commercial break, and I guess they switched it over to CNBC. I don't know what happened, and I saw that CNBC was talking about some of the hosts were saying that America at the time was one of the most diverse countries in the world, right? And then I realized that Houston was one of the most diverse cities in the nation, which I guess then makes it one of the most diverse cities in the world. So then I started thinking, that means everybody on my email list is not from Houston. So I go back and started asking people, where are you from? And then...
So that was like before, just so you didn't have all the analytics and stuff of social, where it's like this listener.
Just had
so
the
you
email and
literally
phone
had to
number.
call 500,000. I'm just letting people know to respect the work that you put in behind the scenes. You're taking time, you're emailing each person, where are you from? Then you're like making another list of like, this email's from here. So then you start getting responses of what?
People were saying, oh, from Casablanca, Morocco, I'm from Lisbon, Portugal, I'm from London, I'm from Manchester, United Kingdom, I'm from New York, I'm from Los Angeles, I'm from Denver, I'm from Phoenix, I'm from Scottsdale, I'm from Houston, from everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I want to perform around the world. I want to put on a tour like other artists do. Now I'm 24, right? I have no money, but I want to do a tour. So at the time, I'm playing also at a Marriott in Sugarland Town Square, the Marriott Hotel, and I would play on Wednesday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the GM, general manager Jeffrey Obemiji, I asked him, I said, well, all the parties that come through here and the weddings and all the events that you have, how does someone just rent a space to have an event? And he's like, well, what are you trying to do? And I say, well, I can't afford jazz venues and concert theaters. So could I host a show at hotels, in meeting spaces? He's like, yeah, you can do that. So I was like, okay, so how does it work? So he told me the process, and I was like, all right. So one of the things was you can rent the meeting space, and you can either pay for the room and don't have any F&B minimum, or if you do food and beverage, they'll give you a minimum to reach. And if you reach that minimum, the room is free, right? So I didn't have the money. So shout out to Marriott for not even knowing what I'm about to tell them, but I think y'all figured it out. So I started reserving rooms all across America that I cannot pay for. So I started, and I started putting tickets on sale. And then eventually I was able to pay for the room,
Right.
but I didn't have the money up front. They would just hold the date, and I started selling tickets, and I came up with the money. But I would email everyone on my list and say, hey, I want to travel. I don't have the money, as y'all know. I'm still out here in Houston or in Sugarland, but I want to see y'all. So I'm going to rent meeting spaces at hotels, and these meeting spaces can hold 50 people. Are y'all able to buy, a few tickets for maybe your friends and family? They can at least pay for the flight and the equipment I need to rent and the room. So the room, I was always authentic. I would say the room is $500.
I love that.
The room is $500, and it's gonna cost me $500 to get there on flight or whatever. Or it was $150 or $200 one way, and I'll tell you why I got one way. And the equipment is gonna cost me $100 to rent, so about $800, so to speak. And everyone was like, "Yeah, I'll buy 10 tickets. I'll buy 50," because they were more receptive to doing it because they knew me. They knew
That's cool.
This is a guy that he's trying to make it.
It's
I
not
saw
just some
him.
random, yeah.
It's not like
That's
some random
cool.
email. I stood out there and watched this guy play music for hours every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's
I love
serious.
it.
He's serious. So I had people responding back going, I'll get the flight. And one guy was like, send me a list of the rooms you're trying to rent. I'll contribute. I'll buy this amount
That's
of tickets.
awesome.
So shout out to everybody, man, on my email list that was supporting. And so I started renting these rooms. I got one ways because when I put the tour together, I didn't have enough money to come home and then go back out. So I had to get a one way to go to the next city because I can't come home, because if I do, I won't have any money to go back. So I had to go, do the one way thing. So
So you go from where you were to the next place.
to the next place. Yeah, I will go to the next place, and I'm gonna pull up this so you can look at this. Yeah, I will go to the next place, and I'm gonna show you this in just a second.
I even remember where we are here. We met up yesterday for coffee in Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, you know of Boca? 'Cause a lot of people don't. It's close to Miami and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I did a show right here. It was at the Marriott too, right, or
Yeah,
something?
it's right across the street.
And you're like, little did they know, and it's good for people to know when you're still doing it. You're like, little did they know I slept in my car because I
Yeah.
couldn't even afford a room at that time either.
Just so I couldn't afford the rooms to stay in at the hotel, or to just get a room in general. So when I would rent the SUV, it would be maybe $60 for the day, and it was cheaper for me to sleep in the SUV than to get a hotel room because
Right.
I needed the SUV to get the equipment. So I would get my equipment from Guitar Center. Shout out to Guitar Center. I would go to the meeting space, set up the equipment, and then I would get like a 6-footer table, so and a stanchion if the hotel had it, and I would take people's tickets when they were coming to see me. So I would rip the tickets, give them the stub. They would go inside the ballroom or meeting space. I would take the stubs, put them in a box, sit it under the table, go into the meeting space, put on a one-man show with just me and my iPad, play the music. After the show, I had CDs that I would bring with me. And shout out to Fry's Electronics and Office Depot for the glass cases for the CDs and yeah, you remember those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that. Yeah, buying those and making them and stuff. And yeah.
The CD
Burning
inserts. I would
CDs.
burn the CD inserts. You go to those station Office Depot and cut them up.
Yeah.
And put your yeah. So shout out to them for the stations, man. So after the show, I would sell CDs, and during the show, I would tell people how many CDs I need to sell so that I can get to the next city, and they would come and buy the CDs, and I would get to the next city. And some people would even allow me to stay at their home.
That's cool.
Some people would say, hey, you know what? You don't need to stay in the SUV tonight. Follow us. You can sleep in one of our guest rooms.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, people, man, they supported me along the way, man. Like,
this is totally, it's perfectly on topic, but this is such an important thing for people to understand this. When you can watch the news or certain tangents on social media, it can make you think that everyone hates everyone.
yeah.
And that everyone out there there's so much anger, and yeah, there is, but there's also a lot of exactly what you're talking about, of good people of all different races, cultures, and stuff that will come together and be like, you can stay. And I've seen that from traveling the world. I'm like, there's idiots everywhere and there's good people everywhere. But the news will have you think it like 95% of everyone is horrible and hateful. And it's just a good time for people to know, like, there's great people out there.
Yeah.
We don't all hate each other, man.
When I did my first international show, I won't give her name because some people may know where this lady lives, but when I went across to Manchester to do a show at the Victoria and Albert Marriott Hotel, she was a fan of mine that saw me back in Texas. She just was passing through, and she allowed me to stay at her guest suite at her home in Manchester. And then another lady that lived in London knew that I was leaving Manchester, getting on the Virgin train to go to London. She opened up her room, guest suite, and allowed me to stay there too while I was doing my show. And she came to the show too at the Marriott Marble Arc in central London. So yeah, man, it was a journey, you know. And coming out to Boca, it was interesting because, yeah, I was sleeping in the back of the parking lot in the SUV at the Marriott, not too far from where we were having lunch yesterday in town center. So yeah, man, it's when I passed by it, I was like, man, I remember those days.
I was just gonna ask you that. Isn't that kind of cool? Like, and give you the chills or something, almost like this feeling of like, wow, you just like, because when you're in the grind, you don't sometimes realize how far, because we're always like comparing ourselves to where we just were. And it kind of puts things in perspective of like, wow, I was here last time, like sleeping in my car.
Yeah, it does. And they have it's a cafe like right outside of in that area that I would go and sit at, and I would wait there before the show start. The show started at 7. I would get there early in the day so I can set my things up and have some time just to hang out and chill before it was time for me to go do my thing. Yeah.
I love it. It's just great, so great that people hear this. And then you start, actually, was there something that you were going to pull up, or were you trying to check out any of the comments or questions?
No, listen, look at this.
Because I know you were trying to pull something up on there.
This was me renting. This is me renting Boca Raton.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can show it to the.
Yeah.
Is this what you texted me yesterday too?
No, I text you the ticket.
Oh,
that was someone that bought a ticket.
So 2016.
Yeah.
So this was.
Yeah.
I forget what camera, if it comes in the focus.
I think it's this one.
Come on, focus.
Yeah.
It's supposed to do the autofocus. But anyway, I'm actually looking at it.
Yeah.
And you sent me yesterday the actual, this is you renting it, and then you sent me the actual ticket to the show. Yeah. And I loved it because you're like, actually, I can pull up your exact text right now, literally with the proof of it, of the realness of it is so great. You were just like, where'd I have that? Yeah. Found this old ticket someone purchased to see me perform at Boca Raton, because that's where we are. Marriott. They had no idea that I slept in my car after the show and needed to sell CDs to make it to the next city. And, people are like, what are the receipts for the proof and all that crap? Right here's literally the ticket to that show. I have it on my phone. I know it's coming in kind of blurry. I think the autofocus is on the other one. But you texted me that, and I'm just like, I love these stories, and I love people hearing like the story behind the story, because what it does is people think like, well, I can't share that because they're gonna think less of me or something, and it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
It gives people hope to know when they're going after whatever it is they're going after, it's okay that you're not going to know what you're doing, and you're going to figure it out along the way, and you're going to be struggling, and you're going to have setbacks.
That's where faith comes in there, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people could be like, I can't be doing this if I'm sleeping in my car. I have to have the right setup, or they're going to look down on me. And it's like they don't need to know.
They don't need to know. That was a follower of mine that was emailing me like where they can come. Where's the show going to be?
Where at Boca Raton Marriott is this performance, indoor or outdoor?
Yeah, that's somebody else on my email list. And
I could see you selling out. Awesome. There's this place in West Palm Beach where they built this venue. They have there by it's this bay where they have these. It's not yachts. It's like super yachts.
Oh wow!
That look. When I first went there, I thought they were cruise ships.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, those are yachts. And it's like the crazy ones, but they have this little outdoor amphitheater there. Like that would be phenomenal.
That would be nice.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So many people sign up on my email list. And you remember I told you like, God would always like give me clues or hints or put things my way that tells me I'm on the right path if I just stay using my gift. So I get an email in 2016. No, I'm sorry. In 2013, I get an email. This is a year after I first started my first tour ever, right? I get an email from well, I don't give her full name because I don't know if she still works at the company, but her name was Jen, and Jen emailed me and said, "Hey, there's this new thing that we're gonna try to do at our company, and we usually are known for, selling discounted packages for spas and whatever else. It was Groupon. So she's like, we want to start selling concert tickets. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a new thing. So I didn't know what Groupon was. So I was like, yeah, cool. So when my tickets went on sale, I got a ton of text messages from my friends going, yo, you're on the front page of Groupon. And I was like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the big deal? So
that actually is a big deal that they had you on the front time, too. Yeah, because that was like the thing.
That was a thing. So I didn't know. So so when I wanted to do my second tour, and I saw that tickets was selling like crazy because they had a massive following. They had millions of people.
Yeah.
That followed them not only on social media but in their database. They had millions of people. So when they would send out my shows, my tickets was selling even though at 50%, and I didn't make a lot of money, but I was getting a lot of exposure to a lot of new people. So it did take a little bit of weight off me. So after I was doing all the shows around America, I went back to Jen and was like, well, I want to take it worldwide. And she's like, all right, well, here's the departments over here. Reach out to Groupon in these departments, and they'll set you up for those countries. I still got the email address.
I love how you have all this too.
Yeah.
English, German, Italian, Spanish, French, Dutch. Well, I don't even know what's A and Z.
Yeah, so that I was going everywhere.
Love it.
Yeah, I was going everywhere, man. That's how I was putting my tours together. So I was getting my tickets all over the world on different parts of the world for Groupon. That's how I was doing a world tour. So
I don't. Have you ever heard of Gary Vee?
Yeah.
It reminds me like back in the day, he was like one of the first to kind of not doing like email lists for his dad. Had like a alcohol store and started doing email lists for like wine with 100%, like around the same year when no one was doing it. Yeah. And just started selling like crazy. And I love how you were like strategizing that. Then you doing Groupon. But I'm also thinking about the little kid that at times, you went through this adversity with like the stabbing and the stuff with your family and then not living at home, living in a church. Even at a time, I remember you telling me you guys even, for some nights, I'd even like sleep under the bridge.
Like we had times where we didn't have a place to go, yeah.
And then you're booking places to see around the world. A lot of people don't even get to leave their city or state, and all of a sudden you're able to start seeing the world. Like, how amazing is that? And that's just the beginning. I mean, you've done so much more since then, but like, how amazing is that of God orchestrating like through your hard work and faith, and all of a sudden now were you feeling like kind of freaked out the first time you were traveling to other countries, or were you like just super excited? I'm sure.
I wasn't freaked out at all. It was a normal thing for me because it was a normal feeling for me to take a leap of faith. Like God had never let me down. You know what I'm saying? So to go out of the country by myself and figure out how I'm going to rent equipment or how I'm going to find my way, it was a normal feeling. I was just fine. You know what I mean? During the time when I was jobless, during those 2 years, my car was stolen with all my equipment in there, all my saxophones. It was gone. And I borrowed money, or he just gave it to me. My pastor at the time had gave me $150, and I went to a pawn shop and bought another saxophone. But point of telling you that was that even in when I would tell you that God would always give me, blessings when things didn't seem like it was going my way, like, as long as I was dedicated to using my gift, everything just worked out. So, I figured if I booked shows overseas, the tickets are going to sell, maybe not to where I want them to be, but whatever God was orchestrating was going to be just fine.
He kept getting you to the next
he just kept doing
step.
Yeah.
He always gave you enough for where you needed to go next.
Exactly. And that's all I needed. And that's all I cared about. I was able to go overseas, do my shows, and come back home. What more can I ask for? A lot of the times we think that we know what we want sometimes, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes it's
So
okay to
true.
not know what you want. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to not know what you want, because if you think you know what you want, you could be limiting yourself.
True.
And to not know what you want sometimes can be a good place to be, because now you're allowing for room for opportunity. So you know what I mean. So I didn't. I know I don't have these 5-year plans like I was telling you. I just figured that if I continue just to use my gift, everything would just work itself out, and it's always been that way.
But you always put the work in.
Yeah.
Like you might not have but you're not. It's good people know. Of course, God's always like pray, have a vision, but then also keep putting the work in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always were moving towards something and putting the
Always.
work and getting email lists, like innovating, doing trial and error. And it's crazy because back then, God already knew, but you couldn't have had, podcasts didn't even to be thinking like, well, I'm going to be then on like a show, like sharing my whole story.
Yeah.
And it's just like the way God orchestrates things is crazy. Because it has this right now, us two sitting here is nothing. I'm not smart enough to take credit to be like, I orchestrate. If it wasn't for God, there's no way I would be sitting here right now.
Right. I would say that where you are in life right now, you have surrendered the ego with, I'm going to figure it out and do it myself. You surrender that and you say, you know what, God, whatever you just have your way with me. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I'll do it. And I trust you and that everything is going to work itself out. And yeah. And look at you now. You're on a successful podcast, 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. Come on. Yesterday you showed me you had millions of people that are watching you by the year in a month. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
But
Life changing.
But it's by the way, I love your
Engagement.
community here. Yeah, but it's cool. Like, I can't read. Splendid 40 said, "Faith without works is dead." Amen. I love that. I love that. Amen. Just so much positivity. There's a God who knows it all. Faith is everything. Dirgy too. It's just really cool. If you guys have a question, and also Chris is going to be playing live here in a minute too, but feel free. We'll try to catch it if you ask a question. But what were you just saying with that? Man, I had a point that I was going to make, and then
Well, you surrender. I'm saying that you surrendered the ego.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I want people to know too. There's so many times I did shows with one person watching, with one subscriber.
Yeah.
It took me forever to get to 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I hit 100. And then I remember when I finally hit 1,000, and it was like, now you can start to be verified too.
Yeah.
But also, I love being honest with people, because you and I said it's cool that we share the backstories, but also people think, well, now you've made it though, and now you don't. And I love being like, I've built a foundation up. I've like built my confidence muscle and adverts throughout, but I also still struggle all the time. I'll have talks like, man, I don't know if I should keep doing the show, or I don't know if I'm good enough. The doubt and stuff still comes in all the time, and it doesn't ever completely go away.
Yeah.
But there's always this inner thing of like, it's not about you.
Right.
And I just love people to know that, because they think when they're feeling it, they're the only ones. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. Again, I've had other company for almost 20 years. But when you're going through those times where you're not seeing the results and you're putting the grind in, and I've done thousands of shows, of videos, and you're like, you're getting engagement, and you're like, you just got to get the other people to see it. We got something here that's special. Mm-hmm. It's not easy mentally to keep pushing through that, because I've met people that have purchased stuff and gotten it really quickly, subscribers and all that. And I was tempted back in the day with my book, and I had a great video. He's like, dude, there's just not shortcuts. We're gonna have to do it the long and organic, and that's how you're gonna grow organically. But 100%. You're gonna go through those times of doubt, no matter who you are, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know, the thing is, you can't let it make you give up.
I don't know. Not at all. And for those that are watching right now, tuned in, whether it be TikTok or other platforms that we have going right now, or YouTube, I don't really have like a drawn out speech to give you some inspiration, but hopefully my stories, including Mark's, will touch something within you and motivate you and inspire you to carry on with what you have going on in life or the things you're trying to achieve. But just the most important thing is to not try to have it all figured out. Just go and do. Trust your gift. Have faith, and just see what happens. I promise you won't be let down.
Dude says he doesn't have a speech, and then he just lays out this this prophecy right here.
I'm telling you, watch.
That's my guy, dude. Your life is the sermon. That's what I'm telling you, bro. That's why I was like, I'm so excited to have you're gonna help. It's not about us, but it's not about having these perfect, polished speeches. It's about that you're authentic enough to have lived, and it takes courage to share these types of stories and open up about it, and it helps. That's the best thing. Is one key I keep hearing throughout your whole life's journey is the authenticity. Mm-hmm. Even you were like with the ticket sales, I was like straight up with people, like, here's what it costs. I'm not trying to be like it's $2,000 when it's $800. It's this. I need to raise this. And like that realness and that genuineness.
I still do it today, and I tell people when they watch me on TikTok and YouTube, like, hey, if you want to see me continue going live every day, for me to take the time away from, making y'all happy or making y'all proud, this is what is needed. So your support on YouTube, your support on TikTok is what's needed for me to be here with Mark and take the time to fly out here. When I live stream, I am very direct when I live stream, and they know it, and they support each and every day.
I see on your TikTok, because I'm not a Firma. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Mark Minard.
Firma's in the UK, and a Firma stays up through the night when it's like dope. 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when I'm streaming. So shout out to Firma.
Queen Bee.
Shout out to Carla. Carla's here in the States, and she stays up late to moderate. Those are my 2 moderators.
Oh, that's really cool. Oh, but you're right. It's if it wasn't for all of you, like when we're like, please subscribe, please like our, like, I don't get paid. I'm not getting like, I don't have all these sponsors for the thing and stuff. If it's not for, but it's one. I've had some people write me, but some of it have been kind of, it has to be something I believe in, but it's people like subscribing to my YouTube channel and doing your TikTok lives, and like, that's how we're able to keep doing this. Like, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like I said, I'm very real, when it comes to my peeps. Usually I perform every night, Monday through Saturday. If I'm home, I'll put on a 1-hour show, but during the day I'll take them with me. And sometimes I'll live stream, man, and they see me doing administration stuff like booking shows or signing agreements or on the phone with publicists or whatever else. And so they always see,
I love that.
They always see what's going on with me. So
they know you.
Oh,
it's
they
cool.
know. They know.
You're hanging out. It's not even a community. It's family.
Yeah, they know.
They're chilling with you. You guys you become really like family. So when they come to see you for a show,
that's why it's so
like
loud.
I'm going to see my brother play. Yeah, for real.
I went. I'm not gonna say the artist's name. So one of the artists.
I was gonna ask you what's one of the like craziest, coolest stories of one of the artists you met that you admire. But go ahead. You won't say the artist's name though.
I will. It's not for this story. So I went to one of my friends' shows, and while he was doing this thing on stage, and he called me to come out, and it was pandemonium when I came out.
Because they're connected to you in a different way.
After the show, he was like, bro, that's so crazy. And I was like, I spend every day with my folks. So he was like, I gotta get them to be like, because when he came out,
He was like the headliner.
it was his show, and I just popped up just to do my thing, and he was like, when I came out, they went crazy, but man, you came out like you was MJ out here. Like, I was like, that's because I'm connected with him. But yeah, shout out to him, man. He knows.
And you put the work, bro. I see just from the short time I've known you, I'm always on the grind with my stuff, and I don't even have time to. But I'm always seeing your thing notifications pop up.
Yeah.
Chris is live here, Chris, and it takes dedication and work to do that. Like it really, and the consistency.
Yeah,
to do it day in and day out. So like you earn that. But that's crazy though, how the world's kind of shifted where you can let people in when you're being real, and then they see you and they just erupt.
Yeah. Like if
he's like, you're not coming to any more of my shows, but no, I'm just playing.
I mean, you ask them, they'll tell you my favorite color. That they know it all. Like, I mean, you know, I do have a private life. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to my family and my friends and all those things.
Me
but
too.
I keep that off the internet. Like
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not good. I had
some boundaries, bro.
You gotta have boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had a lady that I don't even know her name. And if she's watching, forgive me. But this lady, she flew in from one of the Carolinas. I don't remember if it was north or south. Found out where church I go to and went to that church looking for me, like just to meet me. Well, I was out of town in New York. So my sister-in-law called me and said, hey, are you coming to church today? And I was like, no. She was like, you have a fan here that flew from, let's just say North Carolina to meet you. And I was like, to meet me? I was like, how does she even know what church I'm at? So, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I keep my private life like off. Yeah.
I'm with you too. There's stuff like I'm open, I'm authentic, but also you have to have some life. I don't want to share.
Yeah.
But my wife and I had this special trip in Italy and stuff, and I was like, I wasn't even on, so I did a couple little things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm off the grid, and my awesome dude Anton, he's like, you should make some content. And I love that he's got the right mindset.
Yeah.
But there's times I'm like, a lot of times I'll be with people like you or even other like different famous whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not even thinking in the moment to be
grab,
like, let's
grab your phone
because
and get a
I'm
picture.
having a genuine, because I'm really having like a genuine conversation with them. And I'm in the moment, and there's something about that too, you know, where it's like not everything is meant to be everywhere with everything. And I like my family, my kids and stuff. Like I could be like, hey, I just did this thing, and there was tens of thousands of people there, and they're like, whatever, Dad, you're cringe, like you're cringe. I don't care. And, I mean, they'll say it like joking, but they'll be like. My wife will be like, that's nice, honey, I love you. And the dog just threw up on the floor.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, you shouldn't, people like that shouldn't be your fan. Like, it's your fan. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Like,
something
you got to have reality.
You got to have reality. And some things you just keep off the internet, man. So I tell as much or show as much as I need to know to keep my sanity. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they usually see my day-to-day when it comes to music or anything I'm involved in with progressing in my career. They pretty much see that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. And what's one... Actually, I want to give you your gift and then have you do your life.
Sweet.
What's one of the... I know sometimes it's hard just on the tip of your tongue, but is there like a crazy story of one of your like famous most musicians that you ran into and got to meet, or anything wild or funny or something that happened throughout your career that maybe you haven't shared or you have, or just something?
Oh, Kenny G knows I snuck backstage to meet him in 2010. I don't know if he remembers this, but I lied to his security. I did. So I went to see Kenny G in Houston. He came to Arena Theater 2010. My sister took me. And
do you think there's anyone that doesn't know in the younger generation who Kenny G is? If they don't,
they definitely don't know. They definitely don't know.
He's basically the Michael Jordan of jazz.
So yeah.
Right?
Of saxophone. But a lot of jazz musicians would
filling
disagree.
Up auditoriums and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of musicians would disagree. But the fact of the matter is, Kenny G is the biggest and most selling instrumentalist of all time. It's literally there.
That was my. I'm not saying he's
like the greatest
the
saxophone
best
player ever. But
yeah, there's probably someone that people don't. So that's not. But what I mean is, as far as like turning it into selling out arena for the sax, that was not even like heard of at that
wasn't
time.
yeah, it wasn't heard of.
It was like,
and when he won the Grammy for the album, he won against some singers that have like, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm just trying to let everyone kind of comprehend the relevance of you looking up to him, and then so you snuck in.
So after the show in the foyer, he has his own saxophone series called the G series. I'm not sure if he still sells them, but it's called the G series. And after the show, you can go into this private area and you can buy those saxophones. You get to meet him and you'll buy the saxophone. So I wanted to meet him, and I don't have any money to buy a saxophone, you know? I didn't even pay for the ticket to be here. You know what I'm saying? So the security was standing at the glass door, and I'm wearing all black. And he looks at me, and I just literally just smiled like I'm working there. And I was like, nodding my head like I'm security too. He opens the door and I go in there. Now I'm inside. You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta figure the rest of this thing out.
I love it.
So now I'm inside, and Kenny G is over there speaking to a family, got a saxophone, and I can't look weird like I don't belong here.
Right.
So I start browsing around, like not just looking at the saxophone, but just acting like if everything is running smoothly in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're
like
doing your job.
Doing my job. Everybody's in place.
This is normal for you. You're supposed to be here.
Yeah, everybody's in place. Everything is organized. You know what I'm saying? And then I look over, make sure the saxophone is sat up right.
That's
and,
amazing.
And I pick one up and pretend like I'm expecting it, and looking.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So my sister is standing outside the glass door, just shaking her head, and she's like, "Oh my god!" So I'm in here. So I happen to have my soprano saxophone mouthpiece in my pocket. This is again what I was saying. What God always put me in a position of just like, I got something for you. Stay true to me. I got you. I have just randomly have my soprano saxophone mouthpiece in my pocket with the reed on it and everything. So I'm ready to play. So I pick up a saxophone, put my mouthpiece on it. Now Kenny's talking to a family, right? Over off to the side. I start playing it. He turns around, looks at me, and he's looking at me like, what is happening? Like, why is...
Was this before or after he did a show?
This was after his show.
Okay.
So I'm looking like a worker, but I am
All
really good on
his
his saxophone, right?
Yeah.
It's almost to a point like he's looking like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if Kenny's watching, if you remember this story, surprise, it's me. So I have the picture with you after when we I have to show you. I have the picture with you after.
Did he ask, like, by the way, bro, like, who are you?
Yeah, he did. So I play. So he stops me. He goes, he said, who are y'all? So, man. So I just spill it all because I now at this point I'm about to get kicked out. I know I am. So I gotta, but I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming that I'm about to get kicked out because I'm no longer just a worker now. I'm someone that has snuck in to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all the eyes are on me now. So he comes over. He's like, who taught you how to play? And I was like, you did. Now he's hearing me out. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, man, I will put your CDs in a CD player and just try to emulate the sounds that I was hearing. Yeah. And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, so I just need a mentor. I was like, I'm recently graduated. It's the recession. I can't find a job. I'm trying to figure it out, trying to figure life out. I want to do this music full time. And we had a brief little moment where we talked a bit, man. And then we took a picture, and then
did he give any advice? Like, just keep going?
So if anyone knows Kenneth Gorlick, they know that he is very sarcastic, and I'm not saying like I'm his homeboy or nothing like that, like I'm his best friend. But
I didn't know. I wouldn't even have known that. That's actually amazing.
Yeah, funny, sarcastic. But I mean, he's basically told me that, if you can sneak in and do this.
He's not lying though.
Yeah, like he's like, if you made it this far, I don't think you need to worry about.
You're good.
You're gonna be fine.
You've got the tenacity. You've got the That's actually probably the best advice that he could have given. That's actually facts though.
Yeah. That was the advice.
But like, then he let you do a picture and stuff.
Yeah, we got a picture together.
That's actually cool.
Yeah. And then I was kicked out. So so shout out to Kenny G. for the picture and then kicking me out. That was very nice of you to take the picture and then kick me out. So that was great.
And give you a little piece of advice.
Yeah,
too.
but it wasn't like
That's amazing.
It wasn't like get out. It was like, when you take a picture and he's like, it was really nice to meet you. But that pat was like,
it was kind of your cue. Yeah, it's like either I'm or the security.
Yeah, he was like, it was nice to meet you. And that pat was like, get out.
Yeah. What did your sister?
Oh, she just
was she
laughed.
surprised? She's like, she's probably seen it all by then.
Yeah. She just laughed, man, and we just laughed about it, and that was pretty much it. I hold that story for forever, man. So
that's incredible. I didn't know that. I love those stories.
2010.
That's so great.
Yeah,
man. So I got to give you this. This is for the kid in you, because you told me when we spoke, and you mentioned on the show how like your favorite movies were like Mighty Ducks 2.
Yeah, it was.
You grew up with this crazy adversity, and like it was special to you seeing like these kids together and hanging out.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, so I don't know. I haven't even done this before with it. Usually I have some cool things we'll do, yes, but I got this.
What you got?
This is awesome. This is This was the coach. What was the coach's name from the show? His real name on the show. Do you know?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But the actor Emilio Estevez, who played the coach, people don't know who that's. Charlie Sheen's brother, if you don't know.
Yep.
Got it. His little bobblehead officially signed, and then we got the card of however it is, of how they make sure that it's official to show you the autograph's authentic and all that good stuff.
Oh,
so
man.
That's your dude from Mighty Ducks right there.
Thanks a lot, man. Coach Bombay.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
Wow.
And we got the certificate of authenticity for it.
Oh my gosh. So I got a little spot in my studio that I'm gonna put this up for everyone to see when I'm streaming when I get back home. Oh, this is amazing, man. Man, thanks. Oh, you wore this outfit. Yeah. That was this little outfit too.
Yeah, I was gonna get. They had like one of the goalie that was like this vintage one, but it wasn't signed. I'm like, no, if they have that and it's actually signed by Emilio Estevez, that's pretty incredible.
Wow. Goldberg. This is super nice, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
absolutely.
This, man. But this is going record that for anyone that invites me to their next podcast, you better come with gifts, bearing gifts that are authentic like this. Thank you so much.
Next time we'll have Kenny G here for a surprise.
Yeah, you can't kick me out of here now. So yeah. All right, so what we doing?
If you wanna grab your play some magical sax for everyone, that would be amazing. I mean, this dude's phenomenal. And are you going to be going on tour again sometime?
Yeah.
Are you kind of in the works of that? So
yeah, the full-on tour is 2026.
Okay.
So everyone that want to grab tickets, you can grab tickets anywhere on Ticketmaster, Live Nation. You can go to any of my social media pages, TikTok, Instagram, and tap the link in my profile. We do have a show coming up. The biggest show of the year is in Atlanta, Georgia at Variety Playhouse, and that's December 13th.
Nice.
Jersey is on sale now, New Brunswick, Jersey. Dallas and Houston, Texas is on sale now. Portland, Oregon will be on sale in 2 weeks. So yeah, and we're adding Detroit, Chicago, and a bunch of other places. So.
The one in Atlanta, how many spots is that? Do you have for that?
1,000.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Not 17, but 1,000. Shout out to Clarissa. We're not. So, yeah, but
she'll be there.
Yeah. She got to pull up. Yeah.
That'll be cool. I bet you that'll sell out fast. I want to come. I'd love to come see you live. I've seen you in the locker room and stuff. I'm about to be with you now, but I bet you put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, it's a really good. I gotta send you the link. We just did the show in Oakland at Yoshi's, and yeah.
Who do you have a dude come with, or other people come with you at times too? And
full band.
That's what I thought.
They got a full band.
I bet that's phenomenal.
On keys, Michael Hobdy or Phil Cornish. Sometimes they'll switch out. I got Kerry Mike on bass guitar. We got Jimmy Banks on lead guitar. We got Andreas Jones on drums. Energizer, the DJ, he sets it off before the show starts, and he mixes in while we're performing too. So he's really good at what he does. And shout out to my manager James Earl Reese. Man, shout out to my publicist, Mir Tillman. Shoot, man, I just shout out the whole team. I mean, everybody.
That's cool.
I feel like I'm accepting an award. And you shout out everybody, but I
And
gotta
if
give
you
them their
forgot
flowers,
anyone,
man.
flowers to everyone too. Yeah.
Flowers to everybody. So, and shout out to you, man, for inviting me here because you didn't have to do that, man. But to have me on your show, this is
I'm
super
honored,
amazing.
bro.
Thank you.
And also, I appreciate when guests come here, especially when they come from other states or even from out of the country. There's something cool about it's just such a special show when we're able to be in person too. But it takes coming here, getting a ticket, and sometimes people might have an event or something going on and they're able to work it out. But there's times where people will put the time in like you did, get a ticket, fly down here, get a place. So I appreciate that absolutely just as much, man. And this is a powerful story that you have.
Yeah. Again, thank y'all all for tuning in and watching me. I mean, this has been such a huge blessing to share my story. And I got many more stories to share. So as life goes on, I create more stories. And I probably left some stories out. Well, I know I left some stories out today. They normally just pop up in my head. I'm like, I should have mentioned that one.
You do it on keep watching Chris on all social media and stuff too, because you open up and you share, you play, you talk about stuff. So
yeah.
You're preaching without even knowing it.
Man, without even knowing, I guess. Yeah. So again, man, shout out to everybody that to put the time in to watch this amazing conversation. So looking forward to having plenty more, man. This is great.
Well, listen, everyone, let's let Chris do his thing. We'll let him play out the show with some phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, I give you a few notes, some notes that you can take along, a good melody that you can take along with you. Yeah.
That's so cool. What's one of your favorite songs that you've covered? You do such a variety, man. It's cool. It's just, I love people to see that variety that you do. It's crazy.
One that I've covered that has, so I have original music too, but I'm gonna give you the cover ones too. The one that I've covered that brings some of the most attention would probably be, well, on soprano saxophone would be SWV, You're Always on My Mind.
I love how you do that stuff on the sax. It's so cool. Are we able for you to do any of that, or do you think we'll get a copy? It'll copyright us?
No, I can play it so differently the way it doesn't recognizable.
I want, because all the people that haven't seen you yet or heard you yet that watch my show, or I had never really going through your stuff, like the variety. It was just so cool to see that like done on a sax, and I just want them to be able to hear like a flavor of that, because it's amazing.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, let's do it.
That's what's up. So we're getting ready to roll out on this show.
Yeah.
You're so used to it, but just watching you with that and just how you're able to, I couldn't even blow into it the right way to even make a noise without playing the note. It would take me forever just to figure that out. And just watching how you're able to do that, I don't know. It just seems like such a hard, complicated instrument.
That's how I feel when you're over here interviewing me, and I'm like, you know what? He's not even looking at his notes. I mean,
Yeah, I only usually make a little brief outline. If I have too many notes or questions, it actually makes me do work. I can't do like a script and stuff. It
Right.
screws me up.
Yeah.
So I'll have kind of like main bullet points, but then I just try to make it or like as organic as I possibly can.
Yeah, this is the organic conversation, man. So we had lunch yesterday, and even the conversation then was organic. I mean, and we kind of had like a podcast yesterday. We could have recorded that at the cafe.
That's my other thing I want to start doing is having people like in a setting like, because half the time when you're not thinking about it and we're just walking and talking, I'm always like, man, I wish we would have recorded it, not for purposes of being like, I just want everything up. But social media, I'm like, there was so much like wisdom shared in that. 100%. And when you're not thinking about it, it's those real conversations like we just had, but we were having it yesterday too.
Keep those microphones on you. So you just, the ones you showed me earlier, that we just clip each other up.
I just got to walk with that little bad boy mic'd up.
Yeah, you never know.
For real, because that's, I know there's always so many gems.
Yeah.
But listen, everyone, this has been an honor. Chris Mitchell, check him out everywhere. Are most of your things on all social media? We'll have the link, but is it Christopher or Chris Mitchell on most?
Chris Mitchell Jazz.
So CHRIS Mitchell, MITCHELL, and then Jazz. JAZZ.
Yep.
All over everything.
Everywhere.
YouTube, Instagram,
Everywhere.
TikTok, everywhere.
Red Note, which is the Chinese-based app, Lemon 8. it's
I
everywhere.
love it.
Yeah.
Of course, Spotify, everything. I'm just telling you, it's phenomenal stuff. The connection, sharing the live stories, it's amazing. Anyone that's new here, please check this out. Share it with anyone you think will help. Thank you, like to anyone. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. That's how we're able to keep doing more shows and bring in phenomenal guests like this man, Chris, right here. And never settle, like my man Chris is doing. Keep being authentic. Like big takeaways I get from Chris is his faith that no matter what he goes through, Chris has something in him that knows God is orchestrating. And on top of that, the willingness to have the faith, but then to continue to take action. Like he's not afraid of looking terrible on the way to becoming great, or to sneak in to meet his favorite dude right there, Kenny G. Like you got to keep doing what it takes, putting in the work. And also the beautiful part about connecting with people and that authenticity is such a special thing. So never settle, never give up, and keep elevating beyond. Boom.